This conference will now be recorded.
So are we waiting for anyone, or shall we start? Okay. So just a sec. Okay. So guys, I just want to, before I start my session, I want to make sure that I'm able to, everybody able to hear me, because I'm not getting any response from the other side.
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect,
I
spot
can
on
hear
it.
you, sir.
Hi, Raman. Okay, can you just give me a little bit of yourself? Like, let me know, like, a small background of yours, so I can understand that, why do you want to learn OTM and what is your current background?
Okay. Can you start?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah, my name is Dhoni, and I'm actually an SEM consultant. So I have some good knowledge with modules like order management, inventory management, purchasing management, and a few other modules like product data, cost management. So I just wanted to extend my skills. Let's say that's the main reason I want to know how this module is working. So just for that purpose.
Okay.
Sir, as for me, I am almost 15 years on core logistics, and I'm into software industry, managing logistics. So I need to upgrade, looking at OTM and the carrier.
Okay. So you have experience in core logistics, means you have never.
Transportation,
wo-
transportation,
Have
freight
you ever used?
forwarding.
Okay. So have you ever used any tool before?
Not exactly, but I have developed my own team tool with my own team, which caters to my company. I mean, we have developed a software, inbuilt software, a proprietary software from end to end, and it is currently catering our needs.
Uh, yeah. So before that, any TMS tool have you used?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. So Harshvardhan, hi Harshvardhan. Can you just so you have joined the demo for learning OTM, right? Harsh, I think another person joined. Harshvardhan. Harsh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, so can you just give me your background a little, and why do you want to learn OTM?
I hope last time when we met, I explained you, right?
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. So this is a demo session. So I would probably be sharing a little bit of information about what OTM does, what logistics does, what is supply chain management. So before that, let me tell you, like, I I know, Raman, you have pretty good experience in logistics and supply chain management in the core industry, and other people here are from different backgrounds. So to keep everybody in sync, I will be a little bit of theoretical, because the session is basically, demo session is theoretical. Then our session goes this way, like, in the demo session, I basically create the very theoretical background, and then our initial two sessions are theoretical. Once you enroll for the session, it is theoretical in the sense we need to understand how does OTM work, and what are the places OTM is pretty useful. And then you need to the in the session, all the all the names and all the object names we are going to use very frequently. We explain them everything, because otherwise during the session not everybody will understand what is itinerary, what is shipment. Okay, so what is shipment? Probably theoretically many of the people knows, but in OTM exactly what do you mean by shipment or order base, that needs to be understood. That will be covered within the theoretical sessions, and then it is followed by Oracle defined um, basic training program. It has every touch point of OTM functionality in the industry. Just a few extra feature which has been added as a very niche and not very much or not frequently used in industry. Those all will not be added because it is not industry. It is like once you join the industry in future, and if you specifically get that kind of requirement like fleet management, that time you can again come back to me if you need help, because that is not Oracle guideline wise training, and even it is excluded from certification program. So uh, after this training, you can actually enroll for certification in directly at Oracle site, and I hope that everybody will pass. And because I will pretty much cover the areas of certification totally, automatically it will be covered. Basic training is designed or like that by Oracle. Okay, and I will share my screen. It is already shared, I guess. I'm just sharing. And if anybody here has already joined the call, my last call, probably it is a repetition session for them. But you can freely ask question if you have any. Okay. So first we need to understand supply chain management as a whole. So supply chain management is the oversight of materials, information, finances as they move in a process from supplier to manufacturer to wholesaler to retailer to consumer. So supply chain management deals with materials, information, and finances. And if you have no idea about supply chain management, then understand that this cycle we see every day, everywhere. How? Suppose it is a manufacturing company. You manufacture computers or mobile phones. Then that manufacturing company is this. Let's take Samsung, LG, Apple. Then suppliers are who provides the motherboard, who provides chipset, camera. Those who which are like it is final. It can be a final product of um, that particular supplier, or it can be a raw material movement. Then it comes to the manufacturing unit. From manufacturing unit, the final product of our interest is built or developed. From there, it goes to the wholesaler first. Wholesaler distributes the product to the retailers, and the retailer can be, online retailer who can come to your door, or offline stores where you can go, and that you is here, consumer. So, so supplier to consumer, this movement with all the materials, information, and also the financial distribution and financial distribution, that all comes under, that's for logistics. That's calls all comes under the supply chain management. So we have common idea that logistics and supply chain management is same, which is not. Rather, supply chain management has many wings like performance measurement, information sharing, product development, procurement and manufacturing, customer service, and then supply chain management has logistics. So logistics is the part of supply chain management. Okay. So OTM is not Oracle SCM. So OTM doesn't handle the whole life cycle of supply chain management or every component of supply chain management. Rather, OTM is pretty much concentrated on the logistics part of it. But even though it is logistics part of it, it is concentrated on, OTM has many other functionality, which is more of a supply chain management functionality, but it is much more than just the logistics functionality. The reason is we need to make some products attractive. I'm sure that camera was never required for a phone, mobile phone, but it has been added, and now we feel that okay, every phone has camera, but there was cameras separately, digital camera. So we add few things to make product look more attractive, industry friendly, making it more and more standalone, so that whenever you are offering your product is not coming with a lot of requirement. Rather, product is pretty much independent itself. Okay, so coming to that point, so logistics is the small portion of supply chain management that deals with management of goods in an efficient way. The concept of logistics has been evolved earlier. Supply chain management is a modern concept. So logistics is a pretty old concept. When human invented wheels, so you can understand it is 60,000 years ago probably. Logistics was a requirement to move product from one place to another. The logistics activities are divided into two broad categories: inbound logistics, outbound logistics. So here this thing is required because OTM also handles inbound logistics and outbound logistics in a different way. But different way means technically different way, but functionally inbound and outbound logistics is what it is. So inbound logistics is basically supplier to manufacturer. Whatever movement is happening before the final end product is ready. The activities which are concerned of the procurement of the material, handling, and storage and transportation. Okay. So during the manufacturing or procurement, all the activity before that, all the logistics which is happening, that is inbound logistics. Whereas outbound logistics is once your final product is developed, then activities are concerned with collection, maintenance, distribution, or delivery to the final customer. So that is mainly outbound logistics. So OTM also has inbound shipments, outbound shipments. Okay. So now directly coming to the OTM. What does it do? When did it? What is OTM? You need to understand first. So once you open OTM, you will see a lot of places, lot of URLs, lot of XML structure. You have GC3. Okay. So what is GC3? Basically, or everywhere you will see glog. Okay, because our XML structure name is glog XML structure. Okay. So global logistics technology, or glog, was invented in May 1999 by industry experts Mish Wesley, J.P. Wiggins, James Mooney, Carl Baker, and Mary Beth Roberts. These people has invented a product called GC3. They were the initial architect, and they were the one who invented this GC3 product. But later on, what happened is glog was acquired by Oracle Corporation in 2005, and product name changed to Oracle Transportation Management. 2005, at the time of taking over, glog had a few renowned Oracle partners like GE, Excel Logistics, DuPont, Halliburton, and Family Dollar. The logos you can see below. So these companies were already a platinum partner with or gold partner with Oracle, but they were not using Oracle Transportation Management. They were using glog, sorry, GC3. So Oracle felt a competition. Oracle bought it, changed the name to OTM 5.0. Today, what we use is OTM 20C. Okay, it's a cloud version 20C. So version changed drastically, but I would not say that or functionality changed where the baseline stands. So functionality wise, OTM may have a few feature added. Mostly it is a change of very small level of changes. That is why even though it was 5.0 version initially, as you know, in international standard, company change the first digit when there is a drastic change in the product and change the decimal digit when there is an upgrade on the existing product. So OTM before going to cloud, it was 6.4. So 5.5, 6, 6.1, 2, 3, 4. And then it moved to cloud. And since it is moved to cloud, then 19C, 20C, based on the Oracle database name, they kept the name so that they can standardize. Correct? So that's about OTM. Scope of OTM, what does it do? OTM handles only logistics part of supply chain management. As I said, to be a successful tool, it has some part of order management. So when I say order management, and there are people from order management background who can ask me a lot of questions, I can only answer. You can integrate order to OTM, any kind of order to OTM from Ariba, from SAP, from Oracle TM, Oracle OM, okay, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards. You can integrate from anywhere. That is first. Second thing is, one second. Just second thing is it can user, if user requires, user can create orders within OTM. Okay, user can create, means manual order creation is possible, and may not have fully all the operations which is available in OM, but it's pretty much to make a business run. Then OTM has billing and voucher, credit note. OTM has all this functionality. You can create bill, you can create voucher, you can create invoice, you can create credit notes. You can handle accrual. You can do cost allocation based on weight, volume, okay, and based on, like, if suppose one truck is containing of multiple customers item into the container, then weight volumetric distribution of the cost is very essential. So that all can be handled. So there are many companies who doesn't use separate financial module to calculate the cost and everything, or they rely on OTM like DHL, Tesco, PPG. I don't know about 2021. They are also still using OTM or not for these functionalities, but they used to. OTM has warehousing, dock scheduling to provide easier solution to the leading retail and NSP companies. So OTM has dock scheduling and warehousing. I hope you guys know like what is dock scheduling. So if anybody can tell on behalf of me, yes, I can. What is this? Donnie, I guess you have worked on warehousing, or Raman?
It is basically your schedule for your load in simple words. Whatever the material you have gathered, you put it on a particular dock for loading, to be loaded, I mean to say. So that is the
Correct,
schedule.
correct, correct, correct. Perfect. So it can be loaded or it can be dispatched as well, dropped also. So true. It is suppose for others. You can suppose you go to a Walmart store. Uh, I'm sure everybody has visited Big Bazaar at least, and if Big Bazaar is like one, Big Bazaar is like then if size wise Big Bazaar is one, then Walmart is 100. It's a huge 100 times bigger than Big Bazaar in any showroom you go. Now Big Bazaar, sorry, this Walmart, if you see a showroom size is this big. So what will be a regional warehouse size? So regional warehouse size will be like a small city under the roof. Huh? Now, if you if you want to take something from that warehouse uh, to move it to the store, you cannot simply just send a truck. Okay, भैया जाके लेके आओ, which is not possible because there will be billions of products and which place it will be within that place you need to have a prior knowledge. So you have warehouse management systems separately, and if it is a big warehouse, OTM doesn't have warehouse management system. Rather, OTM has a dock scheduler. Okay, so dock scheduler means you can define the warehouse docks of your interests, the docks which are based on some activities. Some docks are for dispatching, some docks are for loading. So suppose you are configuring OTM for loading docks, you create all the docks, dock doors, and then you break down the slots. Like usually a truck will come, wait for half an hour. Within that half an hour, the loading has to be done. There will be a 15-minute cut-off time, maximum 45 minutes. So there will be a prior appointment so that the workers in the warehouse, they will be ready with the items to be loaded and keep it over the docks so that you just come with your truck, they will load immediately within half an hour and you can leave the warehouse. So that time is also important for the logistics time. Why? Because that is the time we consider as a starting point of the shipment. So when we book a shipment, let's take I need 5,000 cases of sanitizer in Ohio, on a particular place, this particular city. Then if it is getting picked up from Boston, then there will be a Boston warehouse. What time? What is the pickup date? I know 26th of January, but I do not know the pickup time because it can be picked up from like I do not know means the time the planned pickup time is has to be determined when the truck will go to the warehouse. So 4 o'clock or 4 to 4:30 slot is booked with the warehouse. 4 o'clock is the pickup time. Your truck will be reaching to the pickup point, which is the download locations, and pick up the goods at 4:30. OTM will understand that 4:30 the pickup has happened, it has started from the warehouse. Now from there, if it is an 8 hours journey or a day journey, the person of the consignee who is responsible for the movement, they will get an idea and also the tracking that what time it will reach, expected time. So anyway, dock scheduling is that OTM can pretty much handle that. Fleet management is now fleet management people are using a little bit of interested about fleet management. Fleet management has like um, driver management, power unit management, then a little bit of container management. Driver management means the properties of the driver. Power unit management means the insurance of the engine. Okay, and if active state of active power units are active or disabled, if container, how many containers are there. Fleet means, if you have no idea about logistics, I can tell you, fleet means the wheels, means the truck, or the vehicles. So what are the things you manage for the vehicles? That is fleet management. Okay. So if you see the logistic vehicles, you will see an engine, and then backside there will be a big container. So engine is basically needs license, container needs separate license, which is engine is power unit and container is container equipment. In OTM language, mostly it is equipment. We will be using the word equipment. So OTM, another point is OTM started 3D load configuration. So what is 3D load? Normally, if your container, you are moving some items with containers. So if your items has a particular geometric shape, width, width, length, and breadth, then what happened is you can mathematically calculate what is the volume of the particular item, and then you can compare it with the container item, container volume. You can divide the item volume from the container volume if all the items are same, all the boxes shape is same. And you can simply tell me how many boxes can be loaded into that container. Even if you have a different size, only a simple arithmetic can accomplish that. You can still understand how many will go inside one. But if you don't have a zero, okay, suppose a shape is parabola, oval, or cylindric, all kind of together, means you have square shape of boxes, you have oval boxes, you have not oval boxes, oval shape of probably some metal item, you have some cylindric metal item, yeah, you have some parabolic item, or some triangular items. Now if all are going together, then it is difficult to decide. So there is a 3D load configuration where flash player is required, and you can keep the container visibility, like this is the shape of the container, these are the shape of the items, and you can put it inside the container and check what is the best way to put. Okay, so when I say 3D load configuration, probably it is not used by 99% customer because it requires flash player, and nobody has time to sit and do it, unless some customer I have seen they are using it, like for DHL, some customer I have seen using it. But important is 3D load configuration has one thing which is very interesting, that is load configuration itself. So OTM also has load configuration, means how equipment can be loaded. So not only the movement of the equipment, how equipment can be loaded. That configuration, even though it is a geometric shape of item is there, or symmetric items are there, still load configuration is a deal in OTM. So you can have palletized load, you can have non-palletized load. Can any of, I'm 100% sure Raman can answer it swiftly. Apart from Raman, can
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And basically, what are you trying to do is space mapping, we call it. So whatever is a container or load matrix, that has to be mapped with the load, whatever items we have. I mean, as you said, different kinds of loads are there. Your
Correct.
volumetric loads, your weight-based loads, thermocol is there, which is it will take a lot of space, but the weight itself is very less. So, I mean, there is an iron box which is having a very small size, but having very heavy load. So all this configuration has to be mapped. I'm happy to see that 3D load configuration is there in OTM. In fact,
It
this
is
was there which we mapped in our company, but we could not make it perfectly because the Indian logistics, I mean, there are uneven items are there mostly.
correct. Correct. Exactly, Anand. So I'm more interested to tell you like there are many practices across the world. If you see even the palletized load, like some items you cannot send independent boxes, you need to have a pallet. On top of the pallet, you can keep items, and then you can seal the whole pallet. And the entire pallet is the minimum unit of a ship, minimum ship unit. Ship unit means the item to be shipped, the final item to be shipped. So the final packaging item. So you can say one dairy milk chocolate, a small piece of chocolate. It cannot be a ship unit. Why? Because in a container, you cannot just throw all the small chocolate and fulfill a container, right? Because all chocolates will be spoiled and it is very hard. You cannot manage it, correct? So you need to have a box, small box where you can keep it, and then a big box where boxes will be kept. That big box, if it is fragile, you cannot simply keep the boxes. All side you have to cover with a wooden, a layer of wood. Now that box, probably your ship unit, means now you can load this box directly to the container. Now are some items you cannot even put into a this kind of boxes, depending on the retail size of it, depending on what kind of item it is carrying. Maybe a liquid item which requires less shaking, and some items which is even outside only you can simply scan and understand what is it. So some country has a rule of their movement. There can be multiple parameters, so you can understand across the world. Now based on that, you decide if you want to loosely load or you want to be palletized. Palletized means you need a wooden or steel pallet or plastic pallet. Usually not steel because steel is heavy. So plastic and wood pallet will be at the below. On top of the pallet, you will keep all the cases. Okay. Then on top of the cases, you will put another set of cases. So this way you can make a pallet. Now the whole thing you will cover it with something protective cover you will put, and then the whole thing will be considered as a single ship unit. So it can be now loaded in the container. Now, how many of it can be loaded in the container? If it is stackable, means it's not very fragile, it can be loaded 2 stacks. Right? So 40, probably 40 pallets in a 40-foot container. And if it is a non-stackable, means if you keep one pallet on top of another, there is a possibility of breakdown, damage. Then single stackable. Now, if two kind of items are there, means one is stackable, one is non-stackable. Then the non-stackable one you can keep on top of the stackable one. Correct? So this kind of load config you can create within OTM. So that you have optimum use of the container. Even though 3D load configuration hardly a few players use, load configuration itself is a huge chapter in OTM, and almost 99% of the customer they use load configuration for the optimum equipment utilization. Okay. What is OTM technically? OTM is a Java-based tool. It uses EJB for most of its workflow. Currently, OTM is not EJB. OTM is mostly ADF, Advanced Development Framework. We are not going to learn anything about Java because to know OTM, you do not need to know Java. It used to have Oracle report. Now it has BI Publisher OBIE plugins. Okay. Now, OBIE plugins means you can develop report in OBIE, call it from OTM. from OBIE, you have to select OTM database. 6.2.x onwards, OTM use the FTI reporting. OTM is integrated with large number of tools. OTM can be integrated with large number of tools. OTM uses XML for data transfer or talking to other system. OTM uses what? XML. XML is very um, flexible language. It can be very well be converted to many other language, many other data format like idocs or EDI or ANSI. There are many other file format, other ERPs accept. So OTM uses XML, and all the XML structure or schema or XSD of OTM is called glog XSD. Okay, glog again, the parent company or initial company, Global Logistics. This slide is not important. So this is how OTM home screen look like. So this is on-premises version of the last OTM. It is not 20C screen, okay? 20C screen is same thing. Every feature it has, that has. Just one small few corrections are there in the screen, like screen level, 1 or 2 points are extra. It is like a that is a tabular format, like mobile phone, mobile application type of. But ultimately, these menus are given in a different design. So order management, shipment management, contract and rate management, business process automation, configuration, and administration, operational planning, financial. Up to this, everybody uses. It is very important. From this onwards, you need some of the things are not being used. Some of the things are very advanced. Not at the time you will be learning. You will be learning after 2 to 3 years of extensive knowledge of already what is acquired. Fleet management, cooperative routing, brokerage forwarding. These all are not part of the training. And it is honestly speaking, from last 12 years of experience, I have hardly seen anybody using it. So this is the menu part. You will be developing from here. You will be doing all the activity from here. So it is a menu. It has sub menu, then another subset of sub. Here something called message center. Message center in OTM is like for the communications. Suppose you do not want to use your email box for all the notifications. You can just declare your user ID and message center will receive all the. Then your user ID here, your role here. Here information tab, if you click, you will see what is the version of OTM, what is the last patch updated. Okay, so all the information about the system. Then what is the database version, what is the DBA plugin. Then business monitor. Business monitor is basically a dashboard. It is specific for the customers who doesn't want to go through a big navigation and find out data generate report or something like that. Rather, it's like a overview of some activity. So we have some sets of query we write, and suppose how much movement happened today or this day to this day. So they will click on business monitor and the dashboard will appear and show some data. That's all. Okay. So business monitor you need to configure if you want to. For the actually person who is tracking the business. Then here OTM version will be visible. This is the landing screen. Below what you see is basically Ask Oracle menu. Ask Oracle menu is a shortcut of some of the very helpful, useful pages like rate and query. OTM, you upload rates into OTM, right? Because reason is source and destination. if at all there is any rate present in the system, or if it is present, how many are present. So to check that, you do not need to plan a shipment. You can just go to data inquiry, click on rate, you can put source, destination, or equipment, and you can click OK, and you can see what all the rates are present. So this is a every time new rates are getting uploaded, because as you know, last 5 months back, what was the rate of a movement? Today's rate of movement is little different. Maybe some charges are added. So prices always go up. Now, those new rates to be uploaded in the system. Otherwise, how OTM will understand what is the cheapest and most efficient movement? So once the rates are uploaded, you can check in the system if rates are really uploaded by rating. Now, this kind of important functionality, not you, I'm talking about the planners, the business users. So this kind of important functionality, Oracle did not want to keep it in under some navigation. They kept it here. It is there in the navigation, but for quick access. Okay. That's it. Content of OTM techno-functional training. This is high-level content. Then Uday will share all the detailed content. A basic understanding of logistics, supply chain management, fundamentals of OTM, OTM master data, OTM business object, rating and routing configuration, order management, shipment management. I will cover 3 kinds of shipment: multi-stop, multi-leg, multi-run, milk run, and direct, and 4 kind of agent and milestones, and then configuration and administration, which will include all the screen set, manager layout, user configuration, BPT, means all the screen level customization, and then integration. Now, if you want to detail out what is there in it, and if you have done some analysis before coming to the session, you can ask question, or else Uday will provide you the list of detailed topics. When I say master data, what are the things are included in the master data? So once he shares with you, then you can check that if anything you want to include, or something like that, any specific requirement you have. If you have, then please let me know. I will try my best to accommodate. If it is irrelevant to the training, or then I will also let you know like how we can manage that. Okay, so that's all from my end. Now I'm open for question answer.
I mean, what exactly the technical parts are covered in this training, like integration and any other things?
There are, see, OTM previously had even more technical part. Previously means when previously till 6.4 on-premises version, OTM has more technical, because OTM Oracle has given us opportunity to customize it from the server level as well. Means branding. Okay. Now what happened from last 2 to 3 years, or 2 to 3 years, yes, that OTM is increasingly becoming dependent on Oracle now. Means users, Oracle has given pass, as you know, the cloud instances, they minimize the customization to very little. So technical part is now in OTM is you have to have knowledge on SQL so that you can configure agents and workflow. You have to have knowledge of XML and XML data structure in XSD in order to have good grip on integration. Then rest all the part is completely functional. So basically SQL for agent and milestone, and this. And if some people say, some trainer may say, or some industry may say that this screen set, manager layout, these all needs technical knowledge. No, it needs zero technical knowledge. The reason is from the screen only you will put value and you will configure. It is drag and drop or add and delete. So it is not technical. It is more of a functional. Okay, you can screen, you can simply change like that. So you do not need to have a technical background for that. And milestone agent, VPD. VPD means virtual private database. It is the technical part of OTM. Now coming to what is expected in the market a functional to do. A functional to do rate, master data, planning parameters. These all are screen configuration. These all comes under functional, whereas technical does the agent configuration and integration, VPD and milestone. That's it. Techno-functional does everything.
It has got any link with artificial intelligence and IoTs?
No, not by standard, but some companies they started some initiative to add blockchain or also artificial intelligence like chatbots and everything. They started, but not at the larger scale. It is not a popular practice yet. Maybe after 5 years.
Hello.
It doesn't have any integrated. It doesn't have any integrated artificial intelligence yet. Yeah. Tell me. Done.
So does this course needs any technical knowledge like SQL? Or...
I would say that SQL, PL/SQL knowledge would be great. If you don't have, it's fine. But if you have it, well, it's great. Or XML, a basic idea of XML, because you're not going to play around with XML, but you should have a pretty knowledge like what is XPath at least, so that you can write
So,
well.
so you will teach integrations also with respect to
I
other
will,
Oracle.
I will teach you integration. I will teach you agent configuration, everything. But SQL, I won't teach you. So you should the basic 1 line or 2 line of SQL. I can tell you what the during the session.
Like only for
I
the purpose
personally
of
will,
so only for the purpose of business intelligence reports. Like
yeah,
some
only at the purpose of creating basic agents. But I'm telling you honestly, good knowledge of SQL and PL/SQL is not required today's date for OTM because you do not have any customization function and you cannot call a function because you cannot load the function in the server first place. But SQL, extensive SQL knowledge is always preferable working on OTM because there will be requirement of multiple complex agent. There will be requirement of multiple VPDs where you need to write complex queries. So query writing skill is good. Means it's good to have, very good to have. So you can have some online tutorial or YouTube, probably 2 or 3 days you can spend before you before that comes, that particular section comes. It comes at the last. So after your half of the training is over, then only your SQL requirement will come to the picture. So by that time, you can have some 2-3 hours of extensive session in SQL. I think that will be fine. It takes a single day to learn.
my another question is it an essential requirement to learn this kind of SQL? Because normally in the market, do these functional consultants do this? Like because in other Oracle products, it's pretty much less. I won't say it's not there, but it's pretty much less. Like what percentage of technicality is required as far as this working is concerned?
I'm telling you, see, it is not mandatory because there are many a champion consultant who doesn't write a single line of SQL. Okay, it is not mandatory, but
Okay.
to understand what agent can do, I will give you. That is why I said I also will write 1 or 2 lines of SQL and I will show you in front of you that how does agent work. Now
Okay.
you should have that knowledge that where can you write it, because
Ah,
otherwise
yeah,
your
I got it.
technical consultant will know what he has to do, but you will not know during talking to client that what OTM can do.
Ah, yes.
That's it.
So how this transportation cloud is different from the global trade information? There is also another module connected with it is I think it's called global trade management. How it is?
Sorry, can you ask me again?
There is also another module called Global Trade Management, which is connected with OTM. Okay. So how does it work? Is it connected with Global Trade Management? Because
It is connected with global trade management means now it is kind of sold in a package. Okay.
okay.
Now it is kind of sold in a package. It is connected, not 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 connected, I would say, but a company who uses OTM can also use GTM like that.
Oh,
Because see, I'm currently working in probably 11 or 12 projects together. And nowhere, or previously I worked in probably 30 odds. I have never seen like, GTM requirement for them, but I see client who uses OTM and GTM, but that is not like, that is not mandatory that OTM, if you are using OTM, GTM like that.
okay. And then another thing, does it have a separate certification? Because I have seen
No,
that
it is
it's like this.
now OTM and GTM certification is together,
Yeah,
2020.
together. Yeah,
Only
that's the
five,
thing.
only five question come from GTM, and if you leave it, you can still pass.
But still okay. But yeah, that's what I asked because it's together. So I was kind of
Correct, correct. I understand. I understand. So you have there are a lot of theoretical tutorial before pursuing the GTM, because GTM, I would say, if you want to learn GTM, there are GTM consultants, and GTM is a whole separate, ball game. Then another 10 days or 15 days of training you may require for GTM.
mhm. So it is a different instance, or it comes with the transportation instance itself.
No, it is it is global trade management is not an integrated instance. It's a same server, different instance.
Okay.
You need to
So,
buy
but it's
license.
cloud.
You
It's
need to buy
100%
license.
cloud.
Yeah, it is
It's not
100%
cloud.
cloud.
Okay.
There
So,
are
and what
client
about
who is looking for
okay.
on premises. I don't know today's date if anybody is looking for on premises. Everybody is happy with Oracle maintaining their servers.
So, what about the classes? Like you have weekends or weekdays? Hello.
Usually, I take sessions or 4 days a week, and mostly these 4 days will depending on like your convenience. Mostly either morning or night, and these 4 days can include 2 weekends and 2 weekdays, or it can include all the weekdays, no weekends. Okay, depending on convenience. Um, it is 3 to 4 days a week. So sometimes it is 3 days a week, sometimes it is 4 days a week. Why 3 days a week? Because sometimes your sessions, because every session will be 1 to 1.5 hours. And within the session, I will be talking and you will be working in OTM. So you will have your instances to work on. I will not touch your system. I will rather guide you what button you have to click, next what button you have to click, so that during the session also you are doing it by your own. And then others can practice in their system side by side. And then once, or others can just listen and have the recording, and then you need an extensive practice. Now that practice session, sometimes I know you all are working persona, so you cannot just whole day you can practice. You also have families and other time. So what some sessions are actually need more practice, then you need to have 2 days of gap, or a day, 1.5 day of gap. And some sessions are uh, low impact sessions. Probably very next day you can join another session. So depending on that, we do that. And also it is dynamically allocated. So sometimes I felt that, if I provide a pre-allocated dates, all the dates of your training, it is sometimes very uncomfortable because you may have some emergency or other responsibilities may appear. If there are 4 person joining the session, 1 person is not available, or 2 person is not available, if they all mutually agree to still continue the session and keep the recording for that person, so a lot of thing happens. So it is always better that during the session we will create a WhatsApp group. We can continue what before the session or day before the session. You can let me know if you want to join the session or if you like that.
So,
But yeah,
so mostly it will be like early mornings or like after evenings,
after
so
evening, yeah, apart from
like
office
6,
hours,
7
right?
o'clock.
Correct.
So, like early morning sessions will also be there. If I'm not wrong. Sometimes.
Not very early.
Okay.
And also no sessions are, no sessions are like my wish. It's like as per everybody's convenience. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whatever everybody decides, I do.
So mostly on weekends, like definitely a 2 session
I
will be
see,
there.
I see 9 o'clock sometimes mostly 8 o'clock. Before 8 o'clock, it hardly happens, but
Okay.
8 o'clock is the most early time. You can assume if you have a real requirement, like no, we all have to start session at 6 o'clock or like that, then I will wake up and I will do.
How about
Means
the
9
practice
o'clock.
sessions? Practice, I mean, it's going to be on-premise or cloud session. How is it going to be?
Sorry.
For practice, what is going to be there? It's on-premise or the cloud session you will give us?
See, for practice and everything, you will have actually the on-premises instance, but I was checking checking with the vendor. Actually, cloud instance still now available for trainings. Okay, it is available for training if you are not training industry level. Okay, so personal training, it is available. I think you have to go to Oracle site, you have to check for demo. You all can try, whoever is joining the session, enrolling for the session, you all can try. Go to Oracle and check that if by free instance, sometimes they used to provide initial days, now still they provide or not. If they provide, you can check the link how to do it. Then what we will do, our training instance, our vendor provided training instance, which is also Oracle, sorry, which is other companies are also using, because not everybody has cloud or industry level cloud. So we will have the session, and then we can have a go through one or two go through session on the cloud. I will show you how clouds are little like 1.1% different from the on-premises one. That's it. So if you can download and do, that is fine. If your company has OTM, if you just have a go through, just let me just see the screen. I can tell you this button is extra and you have to click this and do this. That's it. That is the only change you have. That is called workbench. Only you can.
So what
Does
instance
on-premise
will?
you are going to provide us? That is what my question is. On-premise you are going to provide us access. I mean, are we doing it to install in our local laptops, or how is it going? That clarity has to be there.
Sorry.
So on-premise, are you going to give us an access separately for on-premise, because that is stored somewhere? I mean, or
Everybody will
are you
have their
expecting us to
individual access. Everybody will have their individual access.
so that you are going to provide us?
That Uday is going to provide us. Yes.
It's not that we need to install in our laptop and do ourselves
You don't
like
have to.
SAP installation.
It is installed. It is installed in a remote desktop somewhere in Hyderabad. You will be accessing that remote desktop with the separate logins.
Yeah, that is what I'm trying to.
Okay. You do not have to install anything in your laptop. Okay. So it's just we will have session here. You will just join. You will just log into that remote desktop. You will do your practice, then come out. I was just telling you that on-premises, we will be training in a on-premises 6.4 version or 20C of the latest version. Then answer is 6.4 version, not 20C, because 20C is not available at the industry level. The cloud, you might have noticed, most of the technology, cloud instance are not provided by Oracle for the training purpose. I don't know why, but it is very, very costly.
How is the market, sir? I mean, once we are out of the training after, I think it is 45 days training. And
Okay.
after 45 days, what are we eligible for? And what packages we can expect?
It is, I'm telling you, like you check in LinkedIn, type OTM, then LinkedIn will tell you what is the market. It is hot cake and it is getting hotter day by day. The reason is it is getting cheaper. Previously, since it was on premises and Oracle used to charge a lot, now they have introduced with PaaS. You can share the server and you can do activities, and now cost is so cheap that small lot of startup companies are opening only based on one technology, that is OTM. So lot of job opportunities. Any other question?
I mean, what will be our earning potentials? I mean, what package we can expect once we are after 2 months of training and understanding? Also, put into practice on it.
Your voice is little breaking.
I'm trying to say what package we can expect after 2 months. I mean, in case if we are giving the best of our, yeah.
The package is depending on what is your current package. On top of that, whatever, if you put all your experience here, yeah. So packages, there is nothing stagnant, but I can tell you that you will get niche technology package the way niche technologies are providing package in the market. If you are already at the high pay scale, you are already, then I don't know. But yeah, I can say, like, in 6-7 years experience, people get 15 to 16 lakhs or like that. Or 8 years experience also get 15 to 16 lakhs, depending on how many companies he has changed. There are people got, like, 15 years of experience get 40 lakhs. I know people in OTM like that.
Okay.
So any other question technically, market wise, please ask, or we can wind up the call.
Yeah, guys, please ask any question if you have any. Please.
No, I don't
Okay.
have any.
Perfect. So please get in touch with Uday for all the enrollment process, and then let me know. I will be also providing you the material, not only the links. Okay. And get in touch with Uday, and then we can start the session as soon as possible. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, one and all.
Thanks.
Okay.